yeah. Switch over to my commentos.
You have to click the live.
Oh, I'm live. How did I do it last time?
You click. I think you have to click it twice. There's two.
Oh, there we go. I'm already on them. Yeah, boy.
Danny.
Big Dan's in here.
I see you.
I know it's a little late. We'll see who all comes in.
Yeah, see what's up. Well, it still ain't on. Turn my volume down.
Some of my neighbors are having a party out there somewhere.
Well, good for them.
Sounds like a good time. Bass is bumping. Yep. it don't get no prettier. You're going to have to go somewhere else.
Ah, there we are. We finally showed up on my phone. So what's up, Dan? Yeah, it don't get any prettier, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna call my live streams the hip pocket class.
I like it.
Or the hip pocket live stream or something like that. That's what I've been kind of leaning to.
No, I like that.
Yeah, because that's mainly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Where's look in the mirror? Yeah, you're either looking at us or looking at you, right?
Yeah, that ain't. Yeah. But yeah, I like the hip pocket.
I love your banner, dude.
I do too, man, for $13.
No joke. Where'd you get it at?
I ordered it off of Amazon.
Cool.
And man, those
same thing.
They
it's time for an intervention.
It is time for an intervention, but
listen, I'm obsessed with the concept.
It's a cool concept.
Well, it was so useful as a training tool. I mean, it was really hard to steer away from it most of the time, especially when you had something useful to say.
Yeah. Well, that and again, and then you get a group like ours, especially on a big live stream when you got a bunch in the chat room. Most of those folks have some knowledge of everything we're talking about, and they get an opportunity. But everybody, we might hit on a subject that helps somebody remember something, or or maybe they don't know. So I like it.
Yeah. Well,
there's Grit and Grace.
Hey, Gene G.
Grace.
Hey, y'all. All right. Now we got some folks in here. Hi to all of you who don't know me. I'm Merman and Press. Hopefully everybody knows me. This is Pops, half-ass ready. Doing an impromptu thing. Figured I haven't gone live in a while. Need to go live. Hey, Kane's in here. So I wanted to have kind of a poll tonight. I either want to talk about something that is kind of vague and cool in the gray space, or I wanted to talk about just some gear, really basic gear. And I think I started off the first one really well with talking about taking notes, right? Kind of boring, not so sexy, but has a lot of depth to it when you really dive in. And the not so cool stuff I want to talk about are some knives I've got and the concept about watches. The absolutely sexy stuff that is I want to talk about some spycraft, some dead drops, and some coded language, kind of fitting my brevity code video, which was oddly successful considering the concept it was about. Did you watch that video, Pop?
I did. I watched that video, and I love that Grit and Grace reposted it just the other day. And it had been a couple of months since that video came out, and she reposted it. And
Yeah, and I do want to go down that route a lot more. I think there is a lot of civilian aspects to like I say spycraft. It's more field craft for just operational security, but having a brevity code with your significant other can take you out of a lot of a lot of situations. Dan says, I want sexy. I would be drunk and hit a driftwood down the street.
Well,
from your bottle.
Well, Dan, we are celebrating 1 year from Hurricane Helene hitting here, and there's still a shitload of driftwood if you want to get anywhere.
Yeah, I was about to say. I
We
think I
got
saw one
plenty of
driving up the driveway earlier.
Yep. Yeah, I've got several days worth of just cutting it up.
Oh, and thanks, Grit. I went to Treaty Oak Revival concert last night and got it, so that's why I'm wearing it. I love the song. Is I'm the Worst. I love the song. If you've never heard of Treaty Oak Revival, they're kind of like I guess it's more of a West Texas genre of music. It's like a blues rock outlaw country mix, and I really like it. It speaks to me. I love their music. They write about real world stuff, man. It's not about robbing banks.
Yep.
Real world stuff.
Oh no, I don't know, Kane. I may have. I haven't. I've been kind of out of the technology realm today. I actually went to a car show today, and I got to drive a 1978 Trans Am of a friend of mine's to the car show, and so I really, and in fact, I was vegging when Murmur Press asked me to or sent the link. So yeah, I was kind of watching football. I haven't really looked at technology. I'll have to check it out though.
We all need a tech break. Dan said the one I'm talking about has piercings and daddy issues. All right. Well, airplane. Oh, hello. Hello, little kitty. I see you. I guess we'll talk about some non-sexy stuff first. I didn't say we couldn't do both.
Yeah, so, no, you did not say that.
But so I talked about note taking. All right. And I get off into the weeds on note taking for several reasons, just because it helps me so much. Lights on. It helps me so much just in everyday life. And another thing, hold on just one second.
Oh, y'all are left with just me.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. So keeping track of time. So most people wear a watch for a couple reasons. One, they wear a watch for status purposes. A Breitling, a Yachtmaster, Rolex, whatever. Yeah, that's awesome. If you can afford a cool watch, get a cool watch. I do not have said watches. I have a reproduction military watch that's analog with glow and all the fun stuff. Nylon band, nothing crazy. And then I have a digital watch that has stopwatch and tells me the date and all the things that are nice. This watch tells me the date too. Yes, it does. It tells me the date on here. And it is off by a day. Super. But the reason you carry a watch, you want to be on time. You want to be able to time things properly. It gives you a measure. So if I'm rucking, for instance, all right, and I know me, if I have on 40 to 50 pounds of weight and I have flat level ground, I will make a mile in, say make a mile in 15, 20 minutes, right? That's really slow. That's like I got a hurt ankle. All right. But I can judge distance by time.
Yep.
You can judge a lot of things by time. Judging distance by time is one of those things you don't think about, but once you start shooting long distance or you're doing some kind of reconnaissance task, when you see a car driving on a road, you can time how long you see it for and then use your map to measure that distance and find out how fast cars are traveling down that road. It's not even trigonometry, it's not even algebra.
Nope.
All right. So, using this tool and a map, I can kind of guess how fast something's going. For reconnaissance tasks, that's very important. You can actually, if you see an armored column moving a certain speed on the flattest ground, straightest road you can find, you can kind of guess how long it's going to take for that armored column to get to their destination, which is valuable reconnaissance information. Also, analog watches can be used for navigational tools. That is a conversation for another day, but analog watches are, they're technically called a chronograph. Okay. If you have a stopwatch built within, it is a chronograph. But you have a physical object you can watch to track time.
Right.
It can do several things. If you're trying to time something, right? And I'm watching that second hand go by, I can put my finger on it, note where it was last, watch something, and then look at it. Because I don't know about y'all, but my ADHD and my faulty short-term memory, if I go, cool, my digital watch, oh, cool, it was at 57. No. Crap. What was the number at? Damn it. And now you've missed your opportunity. Always have a watch.
Yep.
Don't skimp out on. Yeah, I scroll way too much, G&G. I am horrible at it. But you have a lot more object permanence when you have an analog watch. And Half-Ass Ready wears a watch every day. I try not to wear one when I'm not working or if I'm having fun that day, because I end up doing the thing where I look at my watch and people think I'm bored because I forget what time it is, and I look at it like 3 times in a conversation, and then people are like, oh wow, this guy's really not interested in what I'm saying, and I don't want to watch 10. So
I have watched 10.
There you go. But when I'm on task, on mission, I need a watch, and it takes a lot of brain power for me to try to keep track of time without one. Yeah, and
Grace, that's funny. My brother's body was wired backwards by God, and my dad could do the same thing, and they were both freaking left-handed, but my dad could actually stop a watch, especially an electric watch. My brother could make them slow down to where they wouldn't hardly work at all, but my father had to wear one of those self-winding watches until the day he died, because he would have to wind his watch. But even my brother, when he had heart trouble, they had to put his electrodes on his EKG backwards. But yeah, he could screw up a watch. Go ahead, Landon. Sorry, dude.
Right? No, you're good. Yeah. I'm gonna put my watches on here while I'm doing this. Pop, what do you like in a watch? Like what are, besides it actually working and telling time, what are some things you like in a watch?
It has to, and I'm a big analog watch guy. It has to have a second hand. And I want it to tell the date. And I do keep track of that on mine. I do, but I want it to tell me the date, and that may or may not be important, but I think it is, just in case you've forgotten where you're at, what day it is. Right. But, now I wear a cheap ass Timex, right? But it does have the night glow, and I'm a big fan of that, especially the older I get and my eyes get worse. I'm a big fan. It also, my Timex also glows, but it don't glow long. It starts getting dimmer and dimmer pretty quick. But anyway, mine has to have a second hand, and I like analog. Other than that, there's no other preferences.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I like this Casio because it's got a rubber band, but it's like a soft rubber, so it doesn't pull my hair. I like the nylon because I can soak if it gets soaked in water, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
And it also keeps the tension on it very well. And it's mega replaceable. Like that, it's just a nylon ring, basically. And then, this one, if I break the band on it, I'm kind of screwed. I really can't like jank tie it on my wrist in any way. So I got preferences for both, but the Casio is cheaper. I don't mind taking it to places where I'm going to break a watch.
Right.
But I also, yes, I understand I'm wearing 2 watches, but my digital watch, it has 2 time settings. I set one of them to Zulu time. If you don't know anything about Zulu time, it's basically the world standard time for tactical operations. Like right now, it is. Come on, Lord! It is 0:53 Zulu time.
Yeah, I was fixing about midnight, but
yeah, it's close. So we are Zulu time plus 5, minus 5, something like that. I have it wrote down in my notebook. Weird. We're tying it all together as we go.
Yes, it's all coming together now.
Right, but there are examples of frogmen in Vietnam wearing 2 watches, one for Zulu time, one for local time.
Mm-hmm.
And usually not on the same wrist. They're usually on 2 different wrists. For me, I wear a watch and a wrist compass on either hand. But Dan was talking about flipping one to the inside. So flipping them to the inside, all right, like this. 2 things. One, I don't like doing this just walking around because I don't have snipers looking at me every day and I don't care about the glint. But it does protect your watch more. I also have watch covers that I'm trying out. I want to do a video on them eventually. And I have one from Sterling Timepieces, which I absolutely love. It protects the watch. You can wear it on the outside. It keeps the glare down. Lots of reasons to wear it. But he was talking about while you're shooting, you can read your time, right? So if I'm on gun, I can drop my wrist and read the time. If I do it on my other hand, I have to like pinch it up. Or, if I'm shooting my rifle, my hand's under, right? Just having the ability to read time while you're in certain positions. And the whole world of tactical watch wearing, you can get really off into the weeds on what works and what doesn't. The fact of the matter is you need a watch.
Yes.
That's the end
of that story right there. You need a watch.
Right. So there are 4 things that every good grunt has on them. It's a watch, a knife, a pen, and a lighter. All right. So that you can do a lot of shit with just that. Like you can get a lot of your tasks done with that. Rules here.
Rules here.
Rules here. So when you are picking a watch, go cheap. Don't go nuts. Casio makes analog watches and digital watches. Get whatever you feel is perfect. Your odds are you're not in a place where you need a preference, right? You're not in a realm, right? I want mine to be water resistant, like where I can dunk my hand into a puddle or wash my hands in a river or whatever and not worry about my watch.
But I don't need a diving watch.
Yeah, I don't need a diving watch. I would like one. They look cool, but I can't. I don't need one.
No.
If you do spend more money, you do get more watch.
Right.
If you want a stopwatch built into an analog watch, you're going to spend some money. There are watches out there that have calendars and all kinds of things on them. You're going to spend a little more money. But for $30, you can get a watch.
Yes.
All right. How you wear your watch, right-handers typically wear it on their left. I wear mine on my right, even though I'm right-handed, more often than not because it's more comfortable for me because my wrists are screwed up. My whole body's screwed up, so I have to make shit work, right? Like if I'm usually doing something with my left hand anyway. I'm holding a rifle or whatever, and just my right hand is going to be free for a lot of what I'm doing. So it makes sense for me. Your watch handling. Okay, and when I say watch handling, I mean your actual keeping track of the time. If you're not already on the 24-hour military watch system, you need to get there. Whatever the time is, if it's past noon, add 12.
Yep.
There you go. You got your time.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. So if it's 1 o'clock, it's 1300. Right. My digital
watch that I like has both times on it. It has military time and standard time on it.
Yeah, and I set mine to military time by default.
Yeah, and we're like, I picked mine up off Amazon for like 23 or 24 bucks. And they do have the Velcro band that I don't enjoy as much.
Yeah, I don't dig the Velcro. Fails on me way too much.
It does on me, but I'm not. I have watches that I can be tactical with, and you are 100% correct, Cane Corso. That's why.
You got to get this one as big as this one, all right? If you add paracord. Rules talking about adding paracord, and paracord watch bands are a thing. They're freaking awesome. Yep. I don't know if I depend on like, whatever, 20 feet of paracord alone. And he's actually talking about like paracord that has survival aspects, like it's fishing line, it's a fire tender, it's all of that. Yep, and extra pins for the band. I have broken watches and had to make them work in the field. I usually have to have something janky set up. I keep Gorilla Tape so I can Gorilla Tape the watch to some 550 cord or whatever. Other things in my kit can fix a broken watch. And honestly, at the end of the day, as long as I have a watch, it doesn't have to be on my wrist. I just have to have
a pocket watch.
Yes, it becomes a pocket watch. I put it on the lanyard with my compass or something. Yep. But yeah, that's a good point. Intel.
No need.
Yeah, and Dan has I'm guessing he's talking about a Fortrex, the like wrist mounted GPS. They're freaking cool, and you can have. I've been looking at the Fortrexes. The last one I remember, like I was almost going to buy years ago, was the 401, and I think they're on to like whatever the new model is. It's got a new designation, but wrist mounted GPS is the bomb, and that's kind of the next world I want to get into because I'm a map and compass guy.
Yeah,
always have been, always will be. I'm actually renewing my maps right now.
Yeah, you're right.
And, yeah, attach them to the pay speeds, and a whole land nav video is going to come. I'm not the guy that probably needs to be talking about it, but I can tell you what you need and how to train it. Land nav with your pay speeds are impossible to do without most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Casio Pathfinder. I've seen those. Yeah, that's an awesome one. As far as batteries go for these, I usually break them before I replace the battery. That's why I get cheap watches. And when I ever get a really expensive watch, that is probably going to be part of, how it's put together. It's either going to be momentum powered or solar.
I have a jewelry box full of expensive watches that people have bought me over the years, and I love them. I absolutely love my expensive watches, but I'm with Grace, and I understand what Grace is saying. On the farm, I grew up on a farm, and dude, it is hard on watches. Even if your body didn't turn them backwards, Grace, just farm life is hard. And yes, I use that when I go to a wedding.
Yeah, same.
So when I use them, but those cheap watches, and look, Timex is one of the best products probably on the planet. Probably still as good a quality as anything made, and they're inexpensive. They make fancy watches, but as far as and $25 is nothing for a good watch, for a watch that will work. And they're good to 3 meters, which is 11 feet. If I had to dive, if I have to go deeper than 11 feet, I don't scuba. and I don't breathe as well as I used to. So that's anyway.
If I'm 11 feet underwater, somebody better be coming in after me.
Yeah, well, it better be someone I love a lot that's down there. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So it and yeah, man, I hate filling my first few live streams with unsexy stuff, but these are the kind of things you're going to use the most: your notepad, your watch, your map and compass. But they're also the things you can't live without.
Yeah.
You can't live without knowing the time. I mean, when you're on mission, you can't have a freaking alarm clock, right? So when you wake up, you need to know what time your day started when you woke up, and you can gauge how much you can get done today, right? If you know an armored column is coming through at 4 o'clock, you better be there well beforehand, and you need to know how long it's going to take you to get there.
Well,
Your land nav skills and your time management are going to get on there.
If you're coordinating a group,
Mm-hmm.
Time is going to be of essence. So, and you need to mark your watches. Everybody watches need to be very close to the exact same time. So,
and that's something I was going to actually talk about with your group. Go buy the cheap wall clock, and basically what you do, whoever's running the operations, they get all the clocks and set them to that time. And before the operation, they reconfirm the time and then hand those big clocks out, and they take them home. And those clocks are not away from that person for more than a week.
Yeah.
That way, if you can't physically talk to somebody,
hey V.
Hey. That way, if you can't physically talk to that person, they know what time it is, or what time the operational time is. It might not always be what your watch is set to. It might be 5 minutes ahead. It might be 2 minutes ahead. It might be an hour ahead. It might be something like that. And writing a message on the back of the clock, be like, hey, this is set to our, Bravo time, or whatever you want to call it.
Wow.
And they need tables. That's all stuff you have to set up beforehand. They need tables to understand, what your time is going to mean. But that's about it for watches. Get a watch. Don't worry about getting the time set or anything. Sit and play with it before you even do that. Make sure it doesn't beep when you don't want it to beep. Make sure the light comes on when you want it to come on. Make sure the thing keeps half decent time before you start trusting your operations to it. It takes me a while to trust any piece of kit, and watches are no exception at all.
Right.
So this one is a Timex Expedition.
Yeah.
All right. And they come in all color bands and whatnot, and that people sell bands for these things. If you want a different band, somebody sells one. And this is a Casio Illuminator, right? It's got the light on it. And I like this watch because the light doesn't stay on forever. It actually stays on almost too short of a time. But if you just need to quick, bang, I ain't got to sit here and cover my watch till the light turns on.
Hey, Rural.
Yeah.
I got to drive this today.
Wanted to make you jealous.
Didn't mean to get sidetracked, son.
Nah, you're good. So next thing I wanted to talk about, as my AC compressor kicks on, I want to talk about knives. So if y'all know me, bushcraft is very near and dear to my heart. I think it's one of the things that is one of the most fun things to play with. It's the most fun to train. It's the most fun to get kids involved with, and it kind of takes us back to our roots, right?
Wow.
Me and Pops were in the Boy Scouts. Almost everything we did was related to some sort of bushcraft.
Yep.
And if you want to be the bushcrafter that has to make a wooden mallet everywhere you go and sleep under the stars, or if you want to be the bushcrafter that just really wants to get good at cooking a biscuit in something, or making fires more efficiently, or using your land nav skills, or trapping or whatever, you can be that. Bushcraft is a sliding scale.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about some things I look for in knives. first thing, I want to be able to fight with it. That's just me. That's not everybody's thing. But if I can't hold on to it and it be comfortable for me thinking about fighting somebody, I don't want it. Number two, I want to be able to strike a fire rod. So it needs a 90-degree side somewhere. And I'll discuss with that how that goes here in a minute. Three, I want a full tang. That's just for strength. I don't care what kind of steel it is. I can get any steel knife to do whatever I want it to do. And four, it has to have a case that I can configure. I can put on things. So I have two examples on me currently. One is my Mora Garberg, which I'm sure all of y'all know. This is the Mora Garberg Carbon. It's got a full tang, goes all the way to the end. It's got a lanyard loop. And so for this, I love this knife. You can skin things with it. It's got that nice, swoop down. Scandinavian grind. It comes mega sharp. It's easy to sharpen. It doesn't rust as bad as some other knives do, but you got to keep it clean. But I actually had to texture. I don't know if y'all could see that. I had to use a soldering iron and texture the front and back straps of the grip because it was a little slick. Like I said, I wanted to be able to fight with it. That makes it way better to fight with, and it makes it easier to carve things up and do whatever. But it's got a 90-degree spine on it. This thing can strike a fire rod like nobody's business. Very good knife. I like the carry case or the sheath for it. It actually has a band where I can actually lock it in with a button. I just have it in this right now. I mix and match. I do both. And I also have a belt-mounted Kydex sheath for this.
I'm thinking about testing that out, Kane.
I think that ends up in a paternity case.
Maybe. Yeah.
Found that at a bug out weekend. Lord.
Yeah.
And then the next one I have on me is my SE4. It's attached to my chest rig. I like this knife a lot. Super comfortable in the hand. Big chunky blade on this thing. It's got a 90-degree spine. Now, these do have a coating. I actually had to wear the coating down a little bit. You might be able to see the shine. Yep, right there. I had to wear down the coating a little bit for it to be able to strike a fire rod, but I found that out in training, not when I needed it. So that was the important part of that. I keep it mounted right here on my chest rig so that it's not going nowhere. This is a Spiritus Systems chest rig. I wear it while backpacking. And I can pull it and fight with it, or I can pull it and do whatever I need to it. Very expensive for what you're getting, I will say. SE makes very, very good knives, but the price does not agree with me. The Mora Garberg, the price agrees with me. You are getting a very good knife for a not so crappy price. I think they're like a little over $100 now. Yeah. And you can get one with a leather sheath and all kinds of craziness with it. And everybody makes a Kydex thing for this. I got mine from Milwaukee Kydex. And so when I carry this knife, I have that other sheath in my backpack. So when I get to camp, I can kind of put it on my belt. Without it, I usually just leave this like lanyard looped into something in a bag if I need it. Yep. Buy once, cry once. Well, and both of these are good examples of that. This isn't, the whatever Butler Creek, or an Old Hickory. An Old Hickory's $12 and they'll last you a long time, but you have to know your knives very well for that to last you 60 years. Yeah, absolutely. And set up some classes on that. I'm down. But like I said about fighting knives, I'm not a knife fighter, but if I have to fight with it, I don't want it to suck. I don't want it in my hand if I don't think I can fight with it. You get some knives that yes, they do. Yeah, everybody wants to see. But some knives just don't. The handles aren't great, or the steel. Like I said, I don't care about steel. I care a little bit. I have a minimum. And there are some knives that I'm like, dude, I feel like this knife wouldn't cut anything without me having to sharpen it. I have to carry 10 different stones to keep that thing, in working condition. And I've had knives like that where it's like, dude, I can't cut anything without having to sharpen this thing. But and Pops will let you know, I bring these knives everywhere.
Yep.
And I train with them. And when I say train, I mean perform little tasks and see what they can do. Baton them on something. I'm trying to break this in training.
I've actually watched him make a baton with his knife just to test his knife out. So, yeah.
And your training needs to be as realistic as possible. And sometimes you need to do something with your knife that could break it. And you need to know this knife's limits. I don't care what I paid for it. If I break it in training, it's not costing me anything, if that makes sense.
I just need to know, Dan, do you really resell any of your knives? If I don't like it, it goes in the box with all the other freaking knives I have. I've never resold a freaking knife.
It's like us and guns, all right? They hold their value, so I'm going to hold on to them.
You sell a gun.
I wouldn't know how to sell a gun. I don't think.
Yeah, I only know how to buy.
Right.
There you go. Dan's with
exactly.
Yeah, they hold resale value, but yeah, they reselling a shoe box or an ammo box in my damn armory. I've got a box full of friggin' knives, man.
Exactly. And me, I am I'm not a connoisseur collector of knives, but I want different knives for different tasks. Like I do have a skinning knife, I have a deboning knife, I have a cleaver, I have all these butchery knives. Those are more like camp knives, if I were to break it down. Small price, pay now for the price. Yep, exactly. Yeah, rule set it right on the nose. It's like shoes. All right, now G&G's, they're trying to justify shoes now. Yeah, well, same.
Nice. And guns and jackets and shoes, and I'm sure purses have they have a unique function for a unique task, and I mean, yes, you might be able to make one work for everything, but it won't work as well. So, if you have the tool for the job is easier.
Right. And I'm a jacket junkie. I'm a backpack junkie, but they're all different. They all have some purpose. I mean, I've even given one to mom.
Yep.
That Deuter pack is amazing, and it's exactly what she needed, because she's not going to carry 100 pounds worth of crap. She needs 10 pounds worth of crap and needs to be able to carry it very, very comfortably. And that backpack is right in the wicket. It was not right there for me.
Yeah. And you're in that situation, you have to choose what gear you're going to bring. Right.
Yeah.
But yes, no, you're right. Backpacks, jackets, shoes, they're all
right. And the knife community, it's the opposite of the ham radio community. Everybody wants you in, but you're not just drinking out of a fire hose. There's 10 fire hoses coming at you, and people are like, buy this knife. Everybody has a brand loyalty. Like me, I'm not a huge fan of Benchmade for decisions that their company made several years ago, but they make good knives. So I'm not going to besmirch them and say, don't buy a Benchmade knife. They make good stuff. I just don't agree with their policy, and their political views. But and then there's the whole, it's usually engineers who get into that. We have a family of engineers, right?
Yes. Oh my God. Oh,
I don't care what number you put in front of a piece of steel.
Oh my Lord.
It better be able to cut this rope.
Yeah.
I don't care what number it is.
His uncles, my brother-in-laws they're pretty close to metallurgists, and they will have Greek language discussions 4 hours by a campfire about the merits of whatever number steel you want to talk about.
Yeah.
And, Oh my
Well,
God.
the tensile strength of
Oh my
90,
God.
91B is this, and as far as this versus that steel, yeah, I know. I get so sick of this
Oh, yeah.
conversation.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love them and they're very intelligent men.
Yeah.
But holy hell, man, I have no idea what they're talking about.
They're expressing it in a weird way.
Yes, yes. I have no idea what they're talking about half the time. But
Right.
So, hey, Kane, do you use a Lansky sharpening kit? I love my Lansky sharpening kit.
Oh, me too. Me too.
But Kane was talking about sharpening knives, and I was wondering if he used a Lansky sharpening kit.
And that's what I have. I love the Lansky. It does kind of suck to carry around if you want to carry the whole kit. But what I usually do, so for axes and saws, I keep a Lansky puck, and that's for field, like need it sharper right now. And then before I head out, I'm running over it with the stones.
Right.
For knives, I run it with the stones, and then I have like the the old spit stone. Lansky makes a pocket hone. I take that because I can literally like dip it in water and sharpen with it, and I don't care what happens to that stone. It's got to get my knife sharp enough to make it home.
Yeah, right.
Titanium tomahawk. Good God, it's a big plane. Get out of here! Get out of here, plane! Shoo shoo. But what are some things you look for in a knife, Pop?
Well, the handle, and you'll find this out as you get older with the arthritis in my hands. I need a big handle. I like a big,
and that's why I like this Garberg. It's got a big palm swell in.
It don't have to be fat. It can be wide also instead of fat, but I need it to, so I don't have to close my hand all the way because it won't stay closed as good as it used to. And I want a drop point knife. I'm not a big Tanto point fan.
Me neither.
I want a drop point knife like those for skinning purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And I want a good full tang, and I want a good thick knife so I can pound on it if I need to.
Right.
I've got the.
So these are about an eighth of an inch thick. I think they're about the same. Yeah, minus the coating on the SE, they're about the same.
Yeah. But I like a good thick knife.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And I like it to be easy to sharpen. That's why I don't get into some of these exotic steel knives. And Benchmade does a lot of that shit too. They make these really crazy hard knives that once you get them sharp, they're going to stay sharp. But man, when you dull them, it's a job to get the edge back on them. And I'm not a big fan of that super duper hard steel to sharpen. I like it to be easy to sharpen. But I grew up with case knives, dude, and they would rust. So you had to sharpen them a lot. And I'm still a big case knife fan, but they do rust. I mean, you have to oil them and care for them. A lot of these new knives, SE's one of them with that new coating on them. Man, you can leave that thing stuck in the damn ground out in the yard and go pull it out next year and go to work with it.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot different. The technology, some of the new steel technology is really cool. And I don't want to be totally ignorant about it, but I'm just not. I just don't have time to sharpen a knife for an hour and a half.
You're also like me too. You want it sharp enough to do your next task, and you want to be able to get to work with it. Silverstone steel files.
Yeah.
Work sharp. Work sharp makes a good one.
Yeah, they do. But and I've got several instant sharpeners. Just to knock the burrs off when I've been cutting cardboard or something with my pocket knife. Just knock the burrs off, and they work good for that. But I mean, your knife is dulling, and but eventually you're going to have to sharpen your knife. But things like that.
So, and I do want to discuss something that I've been doing for years that I'm sure some of y'all know. If you ever need like an emergency, like I need this a little more sharper, roll your driver's side window down a little bit, and that top of that glass, they make great hones. That glass to like really get a, let's say you sharpened it on your stone real quick, but you don't have a leather strop or something before you leave the truck, run it along the top of that window. I've been doing that forever, and I bet you can get a razor sharp. It won't last very long, but you can get a razor sharp finish on that knife just by doing that. Enough to skin something for sure.
Way to go, Grace.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And it's because it's due to the hardness of the glass, the tempered glass. It's harder than glass, but softer than stone. It won't damage your knife, but it will push the burrs around. Yeah, and it works really well. I do it on my pocket knife all the time, where I'm like, ah, shit, fuck.
A spark plug is a great.
I didn't sharpen it today. Better get something on there.
Yeah, you're right, Kane, but I don't always
know spark plug. Yeah. Well, and a cool thing about a spark plug, if you take that ceramic that's on there and crush it, take up a little chunk of that, you can throw it through a damn car window. Yep. The hardness of the ceramic beats the hardness of the glass, and it will shatter glass.
It will shatter tempered glass. Yeah.
Yep. Spark plugs are oddly useful in several ways, not just as a hone or a glass breaker. There are 100 uses for spark plugs. You could transfer current to stuff safer. You can actually grab it by the ceramic and transfer current to a battery from not a car battery. I wouldn't want to grab that, but if you got a couple AA's or something, you need to transfer a charge, you can. We try. Well, we're a wealth of random, useless nonsense is what.
Yeah, we're full of shit most of the time. Yeah.
Full of shit most of the time.
Most of the time.
I know enough stuff to get me out of a little bind and get me into a bigger one. That's about where I go. So, all right. Enough about knives.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the sexy stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna go spy shit.
Yeah, spy shit. So, I've discussed this before, but in my job in the military, I was a military police officer, had top secret clearance, did a really fun job. Through that job, by osmosis, I got to be around a lot of counter intel guys, CIA spooks, NSA spooks, DIA spooks, you name it, I was around them. FBI, people were around all the time, and I was soaking up things they did. Oh wet sand or fine grit sandpaper. That stuff's the bomb. I keep a little swatch of that with my matches, and it's also for sharpening. But you can strike a match on fairly fine sandpaper. But so through osmosis with these spooky boys, I learned like where I need to go learn things. Right, it wasn't so much they were just. It's hard to show fieldcraft and spycraft. It's everybody has it in their mind that they're going to go watch James Bond detonate a cigarette lighter as a grenade. You know what I mean? It's not that cool, but it's when you research it and you see why spies do certain things, like hiding a phone in the heel of the shoe, right? It rolls into why you need something. Like, I don't need to hide a cell phone on my body, but if I did, there's ways to do it. And I'm telling you, I've seen cell phones this big. I mean, and what movie? Taken, right? He had one of those in his pocket. I saw those well before that movie came out. Yep, on the sheath. Yep, and I keep a sail needle on my sheath too. So me and Pops have talked about dead drops between ourselves. We have a little system where if comms go down, don't ask Shad where he hides his axes. He's got a pocket one, huh? So if something were to happen to communications, I cannot call Pops or something like that. We have a place where we're going to leave a message, and that message is meant to be vague. It's meant to just in case somebody finds it. We don't want somebody breaking into the house and looting the house and finding our message. Every house has a place. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be on the back of the water heater. behind the kitchen sink. Some people put it, you could put it in a bag and put it in the water tank of the toilet, in a certain shelf under a plate, or in the freezer or somewhere, right? Just leaving a message somewhere for somebody to find it. Could be outside the house too. And I was about to get into Pace Plan. G&G beat me to the punch.
Grace.
I did not, Kane. I did not. So your dead drop needs to be communicated beforehand. You need a coded language in case somebody finds it for operational security reasons. And let's say it's a permissive environment and you just want to leave a message to try it out. It don't have to be vague, but vague enough. When I tell Pops I'm going to grandma's house, he knows where I mean, right? Or the grandma who lives in the East, they know which grandma that is and they know where I'm going, or they know that I'm going to meet them at this certain spot that we talked about. But as far as Pace Plan goes, right? I want my Pace Plan to be more than 4 steps. I want primary is like communications are good. I don't have to hide anything, all the way down to smoke signals and whistles and search mirrors or signal mirrors if I need to. I don't want this gap, right? So me and Pops we don't have our own coded language yet. That's not kind of where we're at. Shackles, 2 of the same books for coding. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you got to learn how to cipher either. You just need a language that me and Pops talk about is now code between us, right? It could be Pig Latin. It doesn't matter. So as long as it's coded enough to hide most of your information, especially the very important bits. But I want to be able to get in touch with him no matter what. And he knows, like, where I live, he won't see a smoke signal from my house.
No. So
we know smoke signals are on the list, just not, in a place where we can train it. But part of what I've been doing in the last 6 months or so is trying to integrate things that have Morse code printed on them into my notebook. I have a patch that has Morse code like embroidered on it. I've got like sticky note punch kit for Morse code. I've got several things that way I can integrate Morse code into something. And this is not something me and Pops have talked about yet, but it is something where it's like, hey, when I hand you something with Morse code on it, right? We can start working on this, signals relationship.
Right.
And you can leave a dead drop in written Morse code.
Right.
And if it's written in the margins of a letter, as long as he knows what to look for. So dead drops, there's a couple things with a dead drop you need to know. You need to know that the other party knows where it's at. You need to know that area is neutral ground. You don't want where your message to be found to be targeted by the enemy, right? I don't want to leave a message for him at my house if I know someone else can find it. If I leave that message out in the middle of nowhere and he has to go get it, it's a neutral zone. It's not, the only danger is me leaving it and him coming to get it. 3x5 laminated card with a fold on it. Fold it up and place under a Velcro patch. Yep. Good idea. That is a good idea. So I'm also been looking at a Morse code thing for the Baofeng radio where you plug it into the side and it translates beeps. Yeah. I've been looking into that they are surprisingly common. I did not know this. Yeah. So that's still like, it's in the middle of my priorities.
Well, there are whole channels on the ham band that do nothing but communicate with Morse code. And
yes, it's a low fidelity signal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I'm sure a lot of them use a computerized, digitalized decoder and code.
Mm-hmm.
Just a very simple code, but I've seen those too. And thing about you got to have your Baofeng station up to where you can with a repeater so you can communicate far enough away where that comes in handy.
Well, and a prime example in the first Star Wars movie, they're in like, you know, they're in like a futuristic society. They're still using laser pointers to talk to each other.
Yeah.
When they're on Naboo, right?
Yeah.
That they had to discuss what 2 beeps mean versus 1 beep, right? They had to discuss this beforehand. They couldn't just come up with it. I can go flash a flashlight at your house all day. You might not know what I'm saying.
Right.
You know I have a flashlight.
I have a flashlight that has a Morse code button on it.
Yeah. So
to do that with.
But so for your dead drops, you can train dead drops, and a great way to train dead drops is by geocaching. You remember doing that?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm telling you, geocaching now is bananas.
Yeah.
When we were doing it, it was cool and it was different, and we were doing it with like MapQuest and very old GPS units.
Yep.
These new ones now, it's wild. It's wild. And like the difference between like the beginner level and the expert level, there is a great margin of like finding them, locating them. Some of them have riddles in them, whatever. And seeing how some of these, you can find videos of people finding geocaches, seeing how some of them are hidden is a great way to hide a dead drop. Think if you were flashing lights in my house all day, I'd be pissed too. But if you knew what I was saying, you could get pissed at me and message me back.
Yeah. Yeah, you can give the old one of those back with your flash.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a signal too.
Yeah.
So your dead drop needs to be coded. It needs to be in neutral space. You need a time frame to pick it up. I don't want to leave a note and Pops find it 3 weeks later. It might be too late. So, right. And you need a signal saying, hey, I left you a message, right? And one thing me and Dad have talked about lately is hobo sign.
Yep.
If you know anything about hobo sign, it's a very old tramp language where people traveling the tracks would write symbols on things to mean different things. Second finger, my social finger. So let's say I'm traveling the train tracks, right? And I met a really nice lady who gave me a sandwich one time. Well, I might leave a sign on her house that says this lady gives food.
Yeah.
And it's also a message saying don't bother this lady, she gives out food, right? It means multiple things. Or don't stay here, the cops patrol here, right? And it might not be a skull and crossbones, it might literally just be an X. Like, don't stay here. Cops come here at night. There is modern hobo sign. It's more word of mouth than anything, but it is a coded language. And leaving hobo sign, carrying a piece of chalk with you to chalk a wall. I recently watched The Dark Knight Rises again. They used chalk to mark observation points to find the truck that the bomb was in. And it was Nightwing who put the bat symbol on it, you know? So, that kind of coded language can be part of your dead drop, right? If you take the bus to work every day, I leave you a dead drop early this morning, go to your bus stop and write whatever sign that says you have a message waiting, right? At whatever drop point. It's just got to be discussed beforehand, but it is a coded language. While that message is pending, the information in that message can, even if it's coded, could still hurt a cause or something, right? Your whatever movement you're on. So that dead drop either needs to be like, hey, come meet me or whatever. And that little hobo sign could be the dead drop. They just need to be able to see a message that says, cool. They don't have to go over and flip a rock over and get the message. They can just walk past this certain dumpster and go, nope, no message today. Or, yep, got a message today. I know where we're meeting. Pre-established meeting spots. Rendezvous points. So dead drops are constantly like a dead drop you might be dropping something important, right? Like in the spy world, a dead drop is usually like, I just have to give you this piece of paper. It's rarely used to convey that we're meeting. We just know that we're meeting, and we have to discuss what route we're meeting on today. All that's discussed, but known rendezvous points. If I tell my dad a certain restaurant, right? Let's say I text him and be like, "Hey, you want to have steak today?" It might not mean we're going to a steak restaurant. It might mean we're meeting at the local fish hatchery, right? That's a coded language, but it's a form of dead drop where it's like, hey, it means something other than it is, and we're now, the dead drops are usually like a form of meeting. Like, hey, this is gonna tell you we're gonna meet here at such and such time, or cancel the meeting. We're now meeting here. And this is something you can train, but it's just easier to talk about what you would do and then maybe train it once or twice just to see. And yeah, Dan, you're right. I was just using a dumpster as an example, but yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
One medium that I have not seen in film, but one medium that I know that is used, like the cork board bulletin boards in places, like they're usually in gas stations or truck stops where people advertise like my landscaping business or whatever. The one who needs to send you a message, puts up a fake business card, right, with a certain color arrangement. And the number might be bogus. The number might be real. I don't know. But I put that card up at a gas station you go to every day or every other day or however often you go to pick up a can of snuff. And guess what? If somebody's watching you, they just see you walk in and walk out, right? If you look at that bulletin board, you can pull up and pull another card off the wall. It doesn't matter. Or the way you say message received, you pull the pin on the card, flip the card backwards and put it back. Right. Or flip it upside down or something, right? To convey that the message was received. That's part of a dead drop. I need to know you received the message because I'm not going to sit there and watch you get the message probably. But I need you to know there's a message. I need you to pick the message up. Let me know you got it. And then the plan gets enacted. So there's multiple steps when you talk about a dead drop. One way.
You know what doesn't move though, Dan? Stop signs don't move.
Stop signs don't move.
And if you look at the back of a stop sign, it's got this great big shiny metal nothing. And if you keep a Sharpie in your pocket, you can do your hobo signs right on the back of the stop sign or any street sign. Speed limit signs don't move. Street name signs don't move. They're usually.
I was gonna say a guardrail.
Guardrails don't move.
Guardrails don't move. Finding things that don't move, and that's something that in your area reconnaissance, right? This is another video coming soon. I'm gonna kind of let it fly here. You need to know your local area, and when I say know it, I mean you don't need to be able to draw a map with your eyes closed. Male. You need to know where your hospital is, where your police department is, things that matter to your safety, but it also helps when you're doing your recon, be like, this is a great place to leave a dead drop.
Yep.
And marking those mentally in your mind map to say, if I need a dead drop, I need to show my guys where this is and why I want it as a dead drop. Are you making noise? I see. Oh. What is a kitty? Yeah, she wanted in. She wanted out earlier. Now she wanted in. She can't make up her mind. Well, it's almost feeding time. That's why. But what am I missing like a really good civilian adaptation for a dead drop? Like what is something that, because your mind isn't my mind, what is something that you could see a dead drop being used for?
Well, I mean, it's in my mind, of course, again, I got the military mind too, but again, I've always thought that like your route, if you had to go somewhere, your route, marking the route either so someone could follow you
Mm-hmm.
or someone shouldn't go this way. Danger, Will Robinson, but
Yeah.
Again, I mean, in your daily life, unless you're really trying to hide something, it's probably not something you're going to use all the time.
Well, it's just another form of emergency communication.
That's exactly right.
And I know where you're drawing inspiration from, and it's what the Mad Mick.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
If y'all read Mad Mick, this kid is chasing someone who kidnapped his friend, and is using sign behind him marking where the father is now following.
Yeah.
And he is very good at picking up the sign.
Yeah.
The signs are pretty obvious, but he knows what the signs mean.
Well, they're obvious to Mick.
Yeah,
but they're not obvious to most people. Very few people look at the back of a road sign, right?
8 ball by that.
Well, yes, Dan, and that's so true because the criminals use this stuff we're talking about, and so does your teenage daughters.
Mm-hmm.
They use these codes so they can communicate and arrange what window they're going to sneak out of to go do the wild thing. Grace, it's been a long time since I was a teenager, but I know about the window sneaking out thing. Okay, but yes, they do use this. You're spot on, Dan. I knew. It didn't think of me as a civilian. But yes, they're hiding their nefarious actions with coded language.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even they're. Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, and honestly, a lot of knowledge that I've gotten has been adapted from the criminal side of things. We often think of ourselves as not operating in a criminal space. One day it really could be.
Yeah. Yes,
right. As often as I do not want to talk about the fear of, maybe one day the First Amendment being repealed, but being able to get your message out, it might be illegal one day.
Well, our founding fathers were pros at spycraft because they had to be, because it under the English rule, under King Charles's rule, if you are caught as seditious, then they hung you, and then they drawed and quartered you, and then they seized all your property, and your children didn't even get it, right? So yeah, we as a nation have a distrust of government, and we should be working on these codes to hide things from a tyrannical government if that comes to call. Yeah.
Yeah, and the roving bands of marauders, right? I'm not worried about them figuring my sign out. You'll probably know they're on your trail, right? Yes, it has.
True that.
Yep. The part of life that I think this is just relevant to. Most of us want to protect what we got.
Right.
And most of us want to protect who we love. And, as the unelected warrior right hand of the family, right? It makes my job easier if everybody knows something, right? And I don't want to be the guy that's like, yeah, my son's in the movement. I don't want to be that guy, but I want my family to be safe if I have to do things that aren't.
Right.
I want anonymity for them, because anonymity for them is their safety. And if I have to leave my mom a dead drop on her birthday to let her know I love her and happy birthday, I'll do it.
Right.
That's out of love. But these skills are so much broader than that. That's why it's the sexy stuff, right? It's mysterious. It's cool. In training, it's obnoxious.
Yeah.
In training, trying to get your message to fit in the little container, right? And making sure it's legible. making sure, like going over it the 16th time, like this is things I trained on. And it was one of those like, hey man, that last message you sent, I couldn't read it.
Yeah.
I had to guess half of it. The side of this that sounds more criminal, it makes it more exciting. I think that, especially the use of hobo sign. I say hobo sign. We can call it whatever. That form of dead drop, I think, is good. It's used now, and it's used in odd ways you wouldn't think of. Around here, I when I was growing up, I'm an art geek. I know that's a little weird, but I love some art, not all art. And graffiti was one art that I really loved. And I loved the kind of the criminal aspect of it. Because there is a whole side of that art that is criminal, and it is very in depth. It's urban exploration and all kinds of things in that side. I pay attention to graffiti a lot because of that, and I see sign in graffiti. Unfortunately, if it's on like a train or something, it moves, but graffiti that is in a stationary place usually means something. It really could be, hey, it's okay to stay here. And you'll see it. And now that I've said something, and you're going to go next time you're driving around town, you're going to look up under a bridge. I promise you will. And you'll see something. And that graffiti you see marks who was there, when they were there. There might be a message involved with it. Certain art is written in certain places. It's not always a street name in goofy letters. If it's not that, pay attention to it. And the one thing around here, it is CWC. And in the gang world, CWC is very powerful, but it doesn't exactly mark territory. It marks areas of egress sometimes. It means crazy white Carolina. It's a racist thing, but you'll see that in places like on a fire escape.
They're there, Grace.
Oh yeah,
they're there.
I promise you, they're there.
They're there in your little neck of Redneckville. They are there.
And in your area reconnaissance, make note of the graffiti. It. Not to say I don't want this to mean anything more than what I'm saying. If you see a mural of Malcolm X or a mural of Martin Luther King, those are sending two very different messages because of who those men are. Pay attention to where it's at, how good it is, because if it's so good that somebody paid to put it there, it probably doesn't mean anything. But if it's something that somebody probably shouldn't have been doing, look at the area you're in and try to match it and see what that message can convey. Yeah, I guess you don't have any bridges down there. But it doesn't have to be bridges. It doesn't have to be bridges. Old warehouses, abandoned silos, abandoned public buildings like schools. Schools are insane. Old water tanks, water towers. It's not always teenagers going up there and spray painting a pee-pee on it. It's sometimes it's a message. And it could be, hey, we're here, right? These guys are in this area. Or it could be, hey, I ran from the cops from here and I got away. I mean, some of these messages do mean that. It's just not because it's not a discussed language, it just has to mean something, and it has to be the same sign in the same types of places. If I see that CWC, like I was talking about, on everything, it would mean something different. But I don't see it on everything. I see it in certain areas. First thing to school you on that, just Google hobo sign. You'll find some, I think the last literature I saw about this was like a news article from the 1920s. So it was big back then when people were riding the rails. Well, oddly enough, when I was farming, I left messages for my boss on places. in the form of dead drops. I didn't know if he had a cell phone or walkie-talkie or whatever on him. I might it sometimes I literally just left the flag up on a mailbox and he knew where I was. So it was one of those things where little communities have their own way of speaking. Like we were talking about engineers, right? They have their own way of speaking to each other. So those realms,
those farmers around you have illegals working for them, and they communicate with each other on the tattoos that they wear. They are communicating with each other. They may not be communicating out publicly with the graffiti, but they are communicating with each other.
And one thing with migrants, y'all, this is something you need to research. Google the difference between immigrants who wear gold versus silver. That will tell you a lot. You'll be surprised at what you find. Gold is flashy and silver is not flashy for certain reasons. So that side of the house, get out of your little circle and learn a language from another circle. That's a great way to learn code language. I'm recently getting back into like RC hobby. So I'm learning how to speak like an RC driver again, right? So do a site survey, and a video is coming on that as well. That is on my list.
Oh yeah, you're right, Kane. Yeah, I dig what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, but I'm telling you, I left sign for people, and sometimes it wasn't so nice. But but all right, we're going on over an hour now. I'll let everybody get to bed and enjoy the rest of their Saturday night. Everybody, thank you for stopping by. Pops, thanks for stopping by, even though I did most of the talking.
No, I'm good. I'm real. You needed something pretty to look at while you were on. So here I am.
Right. Dan, G&G, Kane, everybody, Intel, Rule, thanks for stopping by, man. This is fun. I'm going to be doing this more, hopefully a little more consistently here soon. So, but if y'all have any questions for me, leave them. And catch you on the flip side. Stay safe.